At 67, I found myself folding my son's laundry in the basement of what used to be my home, when a text from him lit up my phone. "Mom, we're taking everyone to Lachey for Tyler's 20th birthday. Please tidy up. We'll be late with guests. Thanks." The words stung like a slap, reducing me to a housekeeper in my own life. That's when it hit me I'd been a guest in their world for 8 years, clinging to the illusion that this was still my home. If you're watching this, hit subscribe and tell me where you're tuning in from. The text arrived at 3:30 p.m. on a Tuesday, as I sorted Marcus's clothes. Yes, at my age, I was still doing my grown son's laundry because Jennifer, his wife, claimed she was swamped with Tyler's college prep. The irony wasn't lost on me that Tyler, my grandson, was too busy celebrating his milestone to include the grandmother who'd helped raise him. I stared at that message, perched on the edge of the bed in what was now a guest room in the basement. 2 years ago, Jennifer had repurposed my old bedroom for her mother's extended visits. Lachey, the restaurant where Marcus proposed to Jennifer 2 decades ago, had been the backdrop for every major moment in Tyler's life: his high school graduation, his acceptance to Ohio State, his first job. Every moment but this one, apparently. I wandered to the small basement window, peering up at the garden I once tended. Jennifer had ripped out my roses last spring, calling them too much work, and replaced them with sleek gravel. Modern, she'd said. Low maintenance. My phone buzzed again. Tyler this time, texting from upstairs. "Sorry, Grandma. Mom planned this weeks ago and forgot to tell you. Rain check." A rain check, like I was a postponed errand. I climbed the stairs to the main floor of the house I'd owned for 25 years, where I'd raised Marcus after his father, Robert, died of cancer when he was 14. The house I'd opened to Marcus, Jennifer, and 4-year-old Tyler during their temporary rough patch. Somehow it had become theirs, and I'd become the inconvenient relative relegated to the basement. The living room smelled of Jennifer's lavender candles and her costly perfume. My old furniture was gone, replaced by her pristine sectional no one dared eat near. The mantel held photos of her family. The only trace of me was a blurry figure in the background of Marcus's wedding picture. I heard Marcus's car pull into the driveway, my driveway. Technically, though I'd stopped mentioning that years ago. Through the window, I watched them spill out, laughing. Marcus in his sharp suit, Jennifer in a dress worth more than my social security check. Tyler looking grown and joyful. They were a perfect family, complete without me. They didn't glance at the house as they drove off to Lachey, leaving me behind. I stood there until their taillights vanished, and something inside me snapped. A fracture that had been forming for years finally broke. I descended to the basement, pulled out a suitcase I hadn't touched since visiting my sister in Phoenix, and paused. A quiet smile spread across my face. They wanted me to tidy up. I'd give them exactly what they asked for, but on my terms. 8 years of being invisible had taught me their routines. Marcus would overindulge at dinner, trying to impress Jennifer's crowd. She'd insist on bringing guests home to show off their renovated house. Tyler would go along to avoid conflict. They wouldn't be back until midnight, giving me plenty of time. I'd been saving for 3 years, ever since I sensed my welcome had worn thin. Robert's life insurance had paid off the house, and a small inheritance from my mother 2 years ago had grown quietly in a separate account. Marcus thought I survived on Social Security alone, but I'd tucked away $42,000 enough for a fresh start if I was frugal. I packed my clothes efficiently into 2 suitcases, A skill honed by years in one room. My photo albums, my mother's jewelry, and a few pieces of my grandmother's china items. Jennifer hadn't accidentally broken or donated went into a box. Hidden behind winter coats, I found Robert's things, his watch, his reading glasses, his meticulous woodworking journal. I held it, picturing him at our old kitchen table, planning his projects. You'd say it's about time, I whispered to the empty room. The kitchen was the hardest. For 8 years, I'd cooked for them, memorizing their preferences: Tyler's favorite oatmeal cookies, Marcus's sandwiches just so. The spice rack was mine, built over decades. The good knives were wedding gifts from my marriage to Robert. I packed them all. Jennifer could learn to cook or order takeout with the money they saved by not supporting me. By 9 p.m., my car was loaded with what mattered. The rest furniture that didn't fit. Books boxed in the basement. Christmas decorations I wasn't allowed to use could stay. Let them deal with it. At the kitchen table, I wrote a note: Marcus and Jennifer, I've decided to move on. The house is tidy, as requested. Don't worry about me, I'm where I belong. Eleanor, I nearly signed. Mom, but stopped. Mothers get invited to family celebrations. Maids get texts to clean. I left the note by the salt shaker Robert had carved, the one Jennifer called to folksy. Then I walked through the house, locking doors, turning off lights. My phone buzzed as I loaded the final box. My sister Rose, how's Tyler's party? I replied, plans changed. I'll call tomorrow. At 10:47 p.m., I drove away from 25 years of memories and 8 years of fading away. The interstate was quiet, just truckers and night shift workers. The radio played soft jazz, and for the first time in years, I felt free. Behind me, my family was likely toasting Tyler's future, oblivious to the fact that I was reclaiming mine. For hours later, exhaustion forced me to stop at a truck stop outside Cincinnati. The young clerk, who reminded me of Tyler with his dark hair and easy smile, handed me my coffee. Drive safe, ma'am. Crazy night to be traveling alone. Sometimes crazy is what you need, I replied. I sat at a corner table, pulling out my phone. 17 missed calls from Marcus, 12 from Jennifer, and a string of texts escalating from confusion to panic. 11:43 p.m. Mom, where are you? Your car's gone. 12:15 a.m. This isn't funny. Call me. 1:22 a.m. We're worried. Please tell us you're safe. 2:35 a.m. Whatever we did, we'll fix it. Come home, home. Funny how that word only surfaced after I left. I turned off my phone and grabbed a stack of travel brochures. Mammoth Cave, Dollywood, the Smokies, places Robert and I had dreamed of visiting before cancer stole our plans. A woman at the next table, about my age with silver hair in a tidy bun and a Kentucky Wildcat sweatshirt, noticed me. Running away from home? She asked with a knowing grin. Running toward something, I said. Just not sure what yet. Her name was Margaret Coleman, a retired teacher driving home to Louisville after visiting her daughter in Atlanta. Biggest mistake I made, she said, was moving in with my kids after my husband died. Took 2 years to reclaim my life. We talked until dawn. 2 women who'd forgotten we were more than mothers and grandmothers. The hardest part, she said as we parted, is forgiving yourself for waiting so long. She gave me her number, insisting I call when I found my path. Women like us need to stick together, she said. The world thinks we vanish after 60. We prove them wrong. By noon, I decided. In Lexington, I opened a new bank account with my savings and visited a real estate office. Beth, a kind realtor, showed me 3 apartments before I found the perfect one, a 1-bedroom above a bakery on Main Street with hardwood floors and east-facing windows. The baker downstairs makes cinnamon rolls that'll ruin you for store-bought. Beth warned as I signed the lease. I paid the first month's rent and deposit in cash, then checked into a hotel until the apartment was ready. That evening, I turned on my phone, 43 missed calls, dozens of texts and 3 voicemails from Marcus, progressing from anger to desperation. The last, at 2 a.m., said, "Mom, I know you're upset about the birthday. I should have made sure you were invited. Please call. I'm scared." For a moment, I saw the boy who clung to me during storms, the teen who grieved his father. But then I remembered the text, the 8 years of erasure. I sent one reply, "I'm safe. Don't look for me." Then I slept in a bed that was truly mine, dreaming of cinnamon rolls and sunlight. Marcus found me 5 days later, thanks to relentless detective work. Claire, the bakery owner, knocked on my door with a croissant and a warning. "Eleanor, a man downstairs says he's your son. He's been calling every hotel and rental office in Lexington, showing your picture." I sighed. 5 days of peace coffee without interruption. Reading by my window had been glorious. "Tell him I'll be down in 10. Marcus was pacing outside the bakery, disheveled with dark circles under his eyes. When he saw me, his face flickered through relief, anger, and maybe regret. "Mom, you look good." I did. 5 days of freedom had revived me. I wore the green scarf I'd bought myself last Christmas but never worn because Jennifer said it was too loud for my age. "Thank you," I said. "You look exhausted. I've been driving Kentucky for 2 days, stopping at every town between here and Cincinnati. Want coffee?" "Claire's is excellent." We sat by the window, Marcus struggling to start. He'd always avoided emotional talks, even after Robert's death. "Mom," he said finally, "why didn't you tell me you were unhappy?" I stirred my coffee, choosing my words. "When did you last ask how I was, Marcus? Really ask, with time to listen." He faltered, searching for a moment he couldn't find. "I ask you all the time. You ask if I need groceries, if I can watch Tyler, if I'll cook for your guests. You don't ask how it feels to be a stranger in my own house." He stared into his cup, grappling with 8 years of unexamined assumptions. "Whose name is on the deed?" I asked. "Yours," he admitted. "Whose furniture is in the living room?" "Jennifer's." "Where do I sleep?" "The basement." His voice shrank. "So tell me," I said, "how I became a guest in my own home." Tears welled in his eyes. "We never meant it to be like that. When we moved in, Tyler was 4. Jennifer was overwhelmed. I was working 18-hour days. You made everything work. It looked effortless. It wasn't effortless, Marcus. It was love." He wiped his eyes. "We stopped seeing you as a person. We saw you as the help." Silence settled as Lexington bustled outside. "Mom," he said, "Jennifer's been crying for days. Real tears. She says she didn't mean to push you out. We want you to come home, not like before. We'll make changes." "Like what?" "The office could be your bedroom. No more basement. Jennifer wants you to have the kitchen back. She's awful at cooking. And family events, birthdays, holidays, you'll be included." I sipped my coffee, weighing his words. Part of me wanted to believe they could change. But 5 days of independence had taught me I liked choosing my own dinner time, watching news without Jennifer's complaints, living without their demands. "Marcus," I said, "I appreciate the apology, but I'm not coming back. This is about living my life." His face fell. "Why not? If we fix things." "Because I'm 67. I was Robert's wife for 25 years. Your housekeeper for 8. For the first time. I'm just Eleanor, but we need you. You needed what I did for you. That person's purpose is done." He squeezed my hand. "Will you at least visit?" "I'll consider it. But this is my home now." After he left, I lingered in the bakery, watching people rush by. Some stressed, some content, some lost. For the first time, I was someone who belonged. Jennifer and Tyler arrived the next morning. Their faces practiced, like they'd rehearsed a pitch. "Eleanor," Jennifer began. "We need to talk." I glanced at Tyler, who looked uneasy. "I asked him to come," Jennifer said. "I thought you'd listen if he was here." The tactic was blatant. Using my grandson as leverage. "Tyler," I said, "mind waiting downstairs?" He nodded, relieved. "Sure, Grandma." I invited Jennifer in. She scanned my apartment, her eyes cataloguing its simplicity. "It's quaint," she said, meaning small and old. "It's perfect for me," I replied. "Coffee." She declined and sat, posture rigid, ready for a negotiation. "Eleanor, I owe you an apology. We've been thoughtless, excluding you from family plans. The birthday was my fault, an oversight." I asked. Her composure wavered. "I know you're upset." "I'm not upset, Jennifer. I'm done." She blinked, unprepared for my calm. "Done? We're your family, are you? In 8 years, how often have you asked about my life, my friends, my dreams?" She searched for an answer and found none. "We've been busy, Tyler. Work. The house. Too busy to notice I was fading away. You weren't fading. You were part of us. I was useful to you. There's a difference." She shifted tactics. "I haven't been the daughter-in-law you deserved. I was focused on our family. And I forgot you were family too." It was the most sincere thing she'd said. "Thank you," I replied. "Then come home," she urged. "Let us make it right." I looked out my window at people living simple lives. "Jennifer, this morning I had pancakes at 9:30 because I felt like it. Yesterday, I read a whole book without interruptions. I've spent 33 years caring for others." "I'm done, but you love helping people," she said, confused. "I was good at it." Past tense. "I want to be part of your lives as Eleanor, not your housekeeper." She cried careful tears that preserved her mascara. "I don't know how to relate to you without asking for something, then." "We both have to learn," I said. She asked me to dinner the next day, just family. No expectations. I agreed but insisted on driving myself and leaving when I chose. "This is my home now," I said. She nodded, disappointed but accepting. Tyler arrived alone Sunday afternoon with grocery bags and a shy grin. I brought stuff for chocolate chip cookies. Mom tried baking, but I laughed, recalling her last attempt that set off the smoke alarm. We baked in my tiny kitchen, Tyler measuring carefully, just like when he was little. "Grandma," he said as we waited for the cookies, "when we moved in with you, were Mom and Dad going to split up?" The question surprised me. "Why do you ask?" He stirred the dough. "I remember Mom crying a lot. Dad always gone, something feeling off. Were they considering divorce?" I chose my words carefully. "They were struggling. Your dad was working endless hours. Your mom was overwhelmed, and they were both scared. They had options to consider, but they chose to stay together. I helped, but they fixed it themselves." He nodded. "You made it easier for them to focus on each other, maybe." The timer dinged, and he burned his fingers grabbing a cookie, just like when he was 4. Some things never change, I teased. Some things should, he said. Then he apologized. For not noticing you were disappearing. For not making sure you were at my birthday, his voice broke. For letting you live in the basement while my girlfriend stayed in your old room. That detail hurt. But his remorse was real. Tyler, you were a kid when this started. You're not responsible for adult mistakes. I'm 20 now. I should have seen it. What matters is you see it now. Is it too late? Not for us, I said. We build something new, based on who I am, not what I do for you. He left, promising to call just to talk. Later, he texted, thanks for the cookies and the talk. I love the real you, Grandma. I cried not from pain, but from hope that one piece of my family could be salvaged. Dinner that Sunday was chaos. Marcus wore a new apron, Jennifer battled a lumpy sauce, and something in the oven smelled like defeat. The roast is struggling, Jennifer admitted, near tears. I stayed in the doorway, resisting the urge to fix it. Maybe pizza, Marcus suggested. No, Jennifer snapped. I said I'd cook for Eleanor. Tyler stepped in, calmly rescuing the sauce and roast with skills I'd taught him. Grandma always said cooking disasters are problem-solving practice. He told a stunned Jennifer. Dinner was late but edible, the conversation stiff but polite. Marcus asked about my apartment. Jennifer praised my scarf. Tyler shared college stories. This feels weird, Tyler said, breaking the tension. Like we're strangers, maybe that's okay, I said. Maybe we need to meet as adults, we're family, Marcus said. Family doesn't mean you know each other, I replied. It means you try. Jennifer spoke up. Are you happier now, living alone, making your own choices? Yes, I said. She nodded. I don't know how to be around you without asking for something, then. Let's learn, I suggested. I left at 9 o'clock, letting them handle clean up. Marcus walked me out. Tonight was awkward, but will you come back next Sunday? I'll consider it, I said. But I'm not auditioning to rejoin your family. I'm deciding if I want to. 3 weeks into my new life, I found a rhythm, book club on Mondays, gardening with neighbor Harold on Tuesdays, farmer's market on Wednesdays, volunteering Thursdays, coffee with Margaret on Fridays. Marcus called regularly, asking about my life without demands. Jennifer sent texts, one with a photo of her attempt at my lasagna recipe, another asking about Tyler's graduation party. Progress, maybe. Then Tyler called, his voice tight. Grandma, can I visit this weekend? I need to talk to someone who won't smooth things over. He arrived Friday with a folder and a heavy expression. I've been researching Dad's business for a school project. Did you know he took a second mortgage on your house 3 years ago? My stomach dropped. What? $80,000, he said, handing me papers. He used your house as collateral for a business loan. Without telling you, the documents showed my address, Marcus's signature, but not mine. He can't do that, I said. He can with power of attorney. The cold truth hit me. 2 years ago, Marcus had convinced me to sign a power of attorney for emergencies. Now, I learned he'd used it to borrow against my house. There's more, Tyler said. The loan wasn't for business. It paid off their credit cards and Mom's car. They've been living beyond their means, using your house as a bank. I sat back, stunned. No wonder they'd been so desperate to keep me close. Why tell me this, Tyler? Because you deserve to know your son committed fraud. Because I'm tired of their lies. That evening, I stared at the documents. $80,000 stolen. plus $60,000 left on the original mortgage. If Marcus defaulted, I'd lose my house. When he called for his check-in, I said, "My day was educational, Marcus. Very educational." Monday, I met Patricia Morrison, an attorney Margaret recommended, who specialized in elder financial abuse. She reviewed the documents, her anger barely concealed. "This is financial exploitation. Mrs. Walsh, using power of attorney to mortgage your property without consent is illegal. My options: demand repayment, reverse the mortgage, or file charges. I want my house back," I said, free and clear. Like when Robert died, they'd need to pay $130,000 immediately. Can they? I laughed bitterly. If they could, they wouldn't have stolen from me. Then they'll likely need to sell the house. Patricia said, "Are you ready for that?" I thought of Marcus at 14, grieving, of their wedding in my backyard, of the betrayal. "Yes," I said. Patricia sent a letter demanding repayment, revocation of the power of attorney, and full disclosure. Marcus called Wednesday at 7:23 a.m. furious. "You're accusing me of fraud, threatening jail?" "I'm asking for the truth," I said. "When did we become partners, Marcus?" "I don't recall agreeing to a second mortgage." Silence. "I was protecting you," he said. "The business needed capital. You paid off credit cards and bought Jennifer's car." Another silence. "Who told you? Is it true?" "Some of it," he admitted. "We plan to pay it back." "With what?" "You're living beyond your means." His tone hardened. "Be careful, Mom. If you force a sale, Tyler loses his childhood home." "Is that what you want?" "I want the truth," I said. "I'm thinking of Tyler, of the example you're setting." Patricia sent a letter demanding repayment, revocation of the power of attorney, and full disclosure. Marcus called Wednesday at 7:23 a.m. furious. "You're accusing me of fraud, threatening jail?" "I'm asking for the truth," I said. "When did we become partners, Marcus?" "I don't recall agreeing to a second mortgage." Silence. "I was protecting you," he said. "The business needed capital. You paid off credit cards and bought Jennifer's car." Another silence. "Who told you?" "Is it true?" "Some of it," he admitted. "We plan to pay it back." "With what?" "You're living beyond your means." His tone hardened. "Be careful, Mom. If you force a sale, Tyler loses his childhood home. Is that what you want?" "I want the truth," I said. "I'm thinking of Tyler, of the example you're setting." 2 weeks later, Tyler called. "They're selling the house." Mom's crying, packing. Dad's on the phone with agents. "How are you?" I asked. "Angry, sad. It's hard watching it fall apart. This isn't your fault, Tyler, or mine. It's their choices." 3 days later, Marcus called. "The house sold. After mortgages and fees, there's $40,000 left." "Good. Patricia will expect a check." "Mom, I never meant for this. I thought I was making smart decisions. You thought I'd never notice because I'd always be under your roof." Silence. "We're renting now, a smaller place. Tyler's moving to the dorms. We're in counseling, trying to fix how we got here." "That's good. Marcus, we used you to avoid our problems," he said. "We called it love. Love requires respect," I replied. "Can you forgive us?" "I have, but forgiveness isn't trust or going back." 6 months later, Tyler's graduation announcement arrived. I attended, watching him cross the stage, confident and ready for his future. Afterward, he hugged me. "You came, wouldn't miss it." He invited me to dinner with Marcus and Jennifer. They looked humbler, driving a modest car, asking careful questions about my life. Over pasta at a simple restaurant. We talked no assumptions. No demands, it was honest. If not comfortable, Jennifer walked me to my car. Losing the house was the best thing for us. We're learning to live honestly, to handle our own responsibilities. I'm glad, I said. I hope someday you'll want to be part of our lives again, she said. The real ones, maybe, I replied. Let's see who you become. Driving back to Lexington, I thought about new beginnings. My apartment smelled of cinnamon rolls. My savings held $40,000, and my life was mine. At 68, I was discovering Eleanor Walsh, not a wife, mother, or housekeeper, but me, exactly who I was meant to be. Thanks for listening. Subscribe and share your story below. Your voice matters.